Are you a first-time home buyer? Here is your step-by-step guide to buying your first home in Toronto from start to finish. First thing you need to do is understand the numbers when it comes to buying a home. It all starts with the numbers, guys. You cannot start without this step. I know it's annoying, but you have to run the numbers. This is actually a really important part that a lot of people skip. So the very first thing is you need to understand your financial situation and you need to know what your mortgage affordability is going to look like. Now, there is mortgage affordability calculators online. The only thing is they're not very accurate. So if you already know the lender that you want to work with or the realtor that you want to work with, you can reach out to them and ask them if they do have a mortgage calculator that you can play around with so that you do understand the numbers better so you will know what your budget would be and things of that nature. So again, you're going to get a pre-approval that's like, we're going to get there, but right now it's just a good idea just to know the overall picture of your finances. The reason why this is important is because first we want to know how much you can afford, because this will determine not only what house you can afford, but also what neighborhood you can afford, which affects other costs that we need to look at, like property taxes as an example, because that is changed based off the neighborhood. Which brings me to number 2, which is researching different neighborhoods. Once you know how much you can afford, then we can move on to the different neighborhoods. Toronto is a very diverse city with various pockets, each offering a unique atmosphere. I want to research things like crime rates, schools, and local amenities, just to name a few. So whether you prefer the bustling energy of downtown or the tranquility of the suburbs, choosing the right neighborhood is crucial for your long-term satisfaction. You also want to research the real estate market conditions in those areas as well that you're looking at. Toronto's market is dynamic and staying informed is key. You want to explore current trends, housing inventory, and how these factors might influence your buying decision. Okay, guys, so now you know your budget. You have an idea of like 1 or 2 or 3 neighborhoods that you like. You want to continue on with the numbers. We're not done with the numbers yet. We're going to move on to the next step, which is saving for the down payment. Since most homes in Toronto cost over $1 million, this means that the minimum payment is normally going to be about 20%. That's because homes that cost over $1 million requires a down payment of at least 20%. Homes that are less than $1 million have a lower down payment requirement of just 5% of the home's purchase price if it is under $500,000. If a home costs between $500,000 and $1 million, the minimum down payment is 5% of the portion that is below $500,000 and 10% of the portion that is above $500,000. If you were to make a down payment of less than 20%, where the home price was less than $1 million, you will need to account for additional costs, like insurance or a similar mortgage default insurance premium. This would cost you between 2.8% and 4% of the total amount of your mortgage. There are first-time homebuyer incentives as well that you can take advantage of that can really help if you are a first-time homebuyer. If that's you want to reach out to me and I can definitely give you more information. Next is building your credit score and income. When buying a home in Toronto, it is important to have a credit score of at least 600. The higher your credit score, the better mortgage rates that you'll qualify for and the more lenders you'll have to choose from. If you're not able to qualify for a mortgage from a traditional bank, you may instead have to go with a private mortgage lender. And although private mortgage lenders typically don't have a minimum credit score requirement, the interest rates for private mortgages are much higher, so that's something that you want to consider as well. Your finances include your income and debt. In addition to slimming down your debt, you'll want to make sure that you have enough income in the first place to afford the mortgage. Besides looking at whether your monthly income is more than your monthly mortgage payments, banks and other mortgage lenders will conduct a mortgage stress test. This tests whether your mortgage payments will be low enough that it doesn't take up a large chunk of your paycheck, so that you still have money for other living expenses, and whether you can afford your payments when the interest rates do rise. Another thing to consider is your employment. Banks and mortgage lenders usually require borrowers to have been employed for at least 2 years. And if you're self-employed, this means having 2 years of consistent self-employment income. Next is estimate closing costs, property taxes, and additional costs. Closing costs are fees associated with purchasing a home that you'll need to pay for. This might include things as lawyer fees, title insurance, and registration fees. It is a good idea to estimate your closing costs so that you don't have any hidden surprises. This can amount to thousands of dollars that you may need to pay upfront, so you need to be prepared. A big part of your closing costs will be the land transfer tax, which in Toronto can range from 1 to 5% of the home's purchase price. The City of Toronto also charges a municipal land transfer tax on top of the provincial land transfer tax, which is charged by Ontario. You may get a rebate if you are a first-time homeowner, so you want to look into that. So how much is your closing cost going to be in Toronto? It can range anywhere from 3% to 4% of the home's purchase price. The largest cost that you will face is the land transfer tax, which for the average Toronto home, being well over $1 million, will already make up over 3% of your home's purchase price. So don't forget about property taxes and additional costs, and also remember that different neighborhoods in Toronto have varying property tax rates, and understanding these can impact your overall budget. You must consider home insurance and ongoing house maintenance expenses as well. Okay, we've done the numbers, guys. So now we can move on. Once you have a really good idea of what your finances look like, now we can move on to the real estate process side of things. Of course, the first thing you need to do is get a mortgage pre-approval. A mortgage pre-approval is something that you can get from a mortgage lender, which tells you how much they are willing to let you borrow at a certain mortgage interest rate. Also, a mortgage pre-approval is an important part of the home buying process, as it gives buyers a better idea of what their budget is and helps them narrow down their property search to homes within their price range. It also shows sellers that buyers are serious about purchasing a home, which can give them added confidence in any offers that you make. You can usually lock in a mortgage rate through a mortgage pre-approval as well. This rate hold means that you have a certain number of days, often up to 120 days, where your pre-approval rate will not change. This allows you to search for homes while being sure of your mortgage rate. Next thing you need to do is start viewing properties with your realtor. So I'm assuming you already have a realtor by this point, but if not, get a realtor, start discussing with them what you're looking for. They can really help you narrow it down and find your dream home. Once you guys have done that discussion, that means that your realtor should start booking some showings for you to go look at these homes in person. It's very important to go in person and actually see the homes for yourself. Then, once you find your dream home, you get to put in an offer. So once a seller accepts your offer, you're not done yet. You will need to schedule a closing date for the sale with the seller, and some more paperwork will need to be completed. This includes getting financing by getting approved for a mortgage, paying the closing expenses, signing contracts, and other arrangements. Both your real estate agent and your real estate lawyer will guide you through this step. Next thing is, once you have all your documents signed and the funds are transferred, then the keys to your new home will be handed over to you, and then you are officially a homeowner in Toronto. So that is all the steps that you need to know when it comes to buying a home in Toronto for the first time from beginning to end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you could get more videos like this. And if you're looking to move to Toronto or to buy or sell in Toronto, all of our information is in the description box down below. Me and my team are always here to help. So if you want to see more videos like this, click on this one next. And until next time, guys, see you around the city and God bless.